Here we go. Here we go. All right, we are live. Live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. All right. We are here together with Oscar and Phil today on Focus on You. And this is our financial empowerment week, which we're very excited about. We have some great programs running on the line for you. And so we just want you to sit back, enjoy information that we have gathered here through the Phoenix National Business Group production, and you are going to be empowered with a team of entrepreneurs that we pulled together to help you grow in every area of your life. So welcome to Focus on You with Phil and Oscar. And today we're going to be talking about work-life balance. Work-life balance. Hey, isn't that right, Oscar?
Yes, and
You know,
balance
we
is good.
balance is excellent, man. I mean, listen, I mean, the earth, if the earth was off balance, we couldn't live here. We'd have to try and live on another planet. So just the fact that balance keeps us all surviving, it's important to have it in our life too. Thrive in our life, you need balance. So we're going to talk about that today. And first I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Philip Reed, and I am the president of Phoenix National Business Group, which is a team of entrepreneurs that network together to bring you information that is helpful in whatever situation you might be in. If you stay tuned, you'll always find a program that suits what you're going through or fit your lifestyle. And we are all here to help you. And you can give us a call if you need even more details on the entrepreneurs that are in our group. All right. My number is 914-297 7624. You could go to philipreed.org for more information. Oscar, talk about you, man.
Um, how far back should I go?
5 years old.
Well, I was born at a very young age. Actually, yeah, I was born in Argentina, came here when I was 2 years old, grew up in the Bronx, had a very interesting life, had a chance to live in Costa Rica for about 5 years. And then
Nice.
back to New York. Listen, once you're a New Yorker, you can't live anywhere else. Feel bad for those Jersey guys. It's almost like New York. You know any Jersey people?
You know what, man? Don't be talking about Jersey, man. You know what I'm saying? I live in Jersey. So, y'all New York folks, we got to keep one eye on you.
Listen, it's the tri-state. We're New York, New Jersey, and then there's California. I don't know if there's anything in between, but hey, how far does this program reach? I don't want to insult the middle of the country.
Well, listen, you're all over the world right now. So,
oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was.
Go ahead.
Real quick, I was a dental technician for 38 years. Lost my job when the place went bankrupt, and I had to pivot and restart from the beginning. And like I said to Phil the first day we met, I'm like, I know that Phoenix, because having to rise from the ashes is not easy, but it's doable. So that's me in a nutshell.
Listen, man. All of us have a story, and the point is that if we can tell our story, you'd be surprised how many people are inspired by what you've gone through, because they may be going through the same thing. There's so many people right now that are unemployed, right? And they're trying to figure out what their next step should be. So even the subject of work-life balance, they're like, what work? I'm not even working, you know? But balance, again, is still important. Even if you're not currently going to a job, sometimes you can create something, and we want to inspire you to be creative in this season of your lives, because, it's either fight or die.
Right.
Oscar and I can really testify to that because our businesses are developed and matured because of COVID. So we had to adjust, we had to pivot, and now we're in businesses that we love, and pursuing our dream job, which is our own company, which is our own pursuit of independence and being able to do what we love to do. And so, our passion is helping people. Our passion is helping people, and you can't lose with a passion like that, right, Oscar? Yeah,
Absolutely. And that was one of the topics that we were discussing earlier in balance is how much do you do for yourself and how much do you do for someone else? What do you give and give without expecting a return? Like, what is that balance? How much can I give? You give everything.
I mean, yeah. Let's talk about work first, right? Right.
Sure.
So, in work, we give 8 hours a day for most part. Some people give 10 hours a day. Some people give 12 hours a day. Now, your time is an investment, right? It's not like you can say, you know what? I invested 8 hours yesterday. I want my 8 hours back. Can I get a refund? Can I get a refund on my 8 hours that I put in yesterday? Because I didn't like how yesterday went.
I didn't get my chance at the water cooler. I need 15 minutes back of my life.
My boss was talking to somebody else 4 hours within that 8 hours, right? So if you think about the time that you invest in somebody else's dream, somebody else's passion, right? And you have your own, it's very frustrating because now you go home to your family. You've already wasted, not wasted, but you've already invested, all the currencies that you're given in life. You invest your time, you invest your energy, and for the most part, you invest your money because you have to put money out to go to work. You have to put money in to come. All your currencies are being used up, and at the end of the day, you have to go to your family. And what do you have? What do you have left to give
Right.
to your family, right? Because your boss stressed you out, so you're emotionally drained.
The
You know,
traffic.
traffic. Oh, yeah, you New Yorkers know about traffic.
Listen, I yell at my Waze GPS because I know a better way to get there than they do. So, oh, and
Yeah.
let me turn something around. You keep saying, you're investing time at work.
Mm-hmm.
What the way I look at work job, after going through what I did, I
Mm-hmm.
see a job work as paying rent. You're paying rent at that job. The landlord is getting the benefit. Somebody says, work harder next year than you do this year so the boss can get a nicer car. So, there's that. If you're going to invest your time, because that's all we have is time,
Right.
pay that rent at the job, but balance it off with a little investment in yourself, especially now that, like you said, we're in COVID now and 40 million people lost their job. Well, that was me, a couple of years ago. So,
Right.
you can either be a good example or a bad example. What do you do when the floor drops out from under you? There needs to be, and especially now people are seeing it, you need a plan B to balance that out. Find something else you can do, especially now in 21st century. We have the gig economy. You can start a business overnight. There's no giant investment, but there is, again, that balance. What do you know now? What do you need to know to start a business? So that all of that is available, and that's part of the balance of work balance. How much work should you do for yourself is my
But I think this comes down to the other option of, what do you think about yourself, right? Am I worth? Do I trust myself? Do I trust to invest in myself, right? Am I willing to put the time to give my idea life. You know, I think of this like Frankenstein, right? You know, you attach him to the table, right? You hook up all the electrodes, live,
And then it ends up
right?
killing. So it's not a good. You gotta raise that monster the right way.
Maybe that's not such a good example, but you get what I'm saying, right? But
Yeah.
you're putting you are like creating something, and you don't know how it's going to turn out. I mean,
Right.
that's the biggest part about being an entrepreneur is you're working hard, but you really don't know what the end result is going to be,
Right.
right? Because for the most part, you feel alone in it. You feel like, well, this is mine, and if I survive, it, it's great. But if it goes down, my family is affected by it.
Right.
My kids, and so I'm going to stay in the job security.
Right.
But
But wait, that's a misnomer. There's no such thing. I'm living proof that there's me and 40 million other people right now are living proof that that's, job security is like military intelligence. It just doesn't, it doesn't work. Jumbo shrimp, things like that. No, it's.
no, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not to be 100% in a job that chooses your value. First of all, how much you get paid, how much you get a raise, right? And then after a while, if they feel like after you invested 10, 15, 20 years in most jobs, I'm going to say all, but in most jobs, after you give all your life to it, some manager comes in and sees you as irrelevant.
Right.
You've worked 20 years, and sometimes you don't even get a package out. Sometimes you
Get a
just get the
box.
boot.
You get a box with your stuff.
Yeah, you get your own stuff. Here you go.
Well,
And
I remember one of those bring your daughter to work days or bring your child to work day. And the guy wrote in the paper, his bring his child to work day was met at the front door when his pass card didn't work by the security guard with a box of everything he had in his office and was told, thank you, you no longer work here. So, again, you've invested that time in this company. And now you brought your child, this is where I work. This is my identity. When people say, Phil, what do you do? Nobody says, hey, Phil, what do you like? It's the first question is, what do you do? And a lot of times we're judged on what we do. What do you do? Well, I'm a brain surgeon. Oh, here, come to the club. What do you do? Oh, I'm a line cook at a restaurant. Oh, okay, you wait over there. So do we put that on
your value is
ourselves?
based on what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we valuing what we do, not who we are? That's the
right.
So one of the things that now we're talking about balance is, how does that balance out for yourself? Do I feel good doing what I'm doing, or do I look down on myself doing what I'm doing? Is that fair? So how does that throw off everything else? How do you value when you don't value what you're doing? You don't value yourself. I can't get married because I'm not worthy. So there's that whole, it just spins out of control rather than who are you? What do you like? What's your, who are you as a person? So that's one of the, and I don't want to come down on jobs too much. It's a great way to start. You need a job. You need to learn how to show up on time. You need to learn how to work with people. You need to learn how to do things in a manner. But take that and now start building your own little.
Well, you know what? I mean, in that vein, as you just said that, not everybody is meant to do their own thing. I've found that there's some people that can't operate or function without somebody telling them what to do. It's like if you don't say move this book, lift this table,
Yeah.
go over, turn the corner. If they don't have instructions, they can't function. They can't move.
Well,
And so
you're describing me. I went from being a technician, knowing exactly what I had to do. At one point, running a lab, we had 97 people, and I could get all those parts moving. But then I'm off on my own, and I'm like, what the hell do I do now?
right.
And it's not an easy transition.
No,
But
it's not. It's a total reset.
oh
It's a total mind soul reset and way
yeah,
of thinking. And if you really want to break out of that cycle, you really got to soak yourself into the ideas of an entrepreneur, right?
and
And realize that you're investing time and energy into your dream. And sometimes it takes a while.
yeah,
I mean, I've been doing this. I've been carrying this thing since 2009, and I mean, it's transformed, it's evolved, it's changed in 1,000 different ways. But now I feel it's settling into the mode of really what in my heart it represents, right? And it represents me in the sense that I'm all about, you know, a win-win.
right.
It's like having that thing that says, I don't believe in. I believe that the work structure of the world needs to change. Everybody should, if you're instead of hiring somebody, empower somebody,
Right.
right? Uh, you don't have to work for me to be a part of what I'm doing. You can do what you're doing, and I support what you're doing, right? And it empowers you, and in tandem we sharpen each other,
Right.
right? The
Steel
term
sharpens steel.
it's steel, yeah, iron sharpens iron, right? Exactly. So the more we're working together, I mean, you work with Legal Shield, and you're on what's the name of your company? Oscar.
Capella and Associates NYC is my company, and
Right.
that's the umbrella company of the things that I'm doing.
Things that you
And
do, right.
I keep adding things to my company just to be of more service, which is fine. But I'm going to jump off on what you said.
Hmm.
Right after I lost my job, I had this feeling like, what did I do wrong? How did I get to this point where I don't have the savings I need? I didn't get a golden parachute to leave. It's like I got a phone call, we're closed, stay home. That was my, that was my severance package. Don't come in. Um, and I forgot where I was going with this, but yeah, I'll get back to it. I forgot where.
Yeah, no, but I think where you're going is like, it's just this. It leaves this empty hole of, especially if you've put all your life into it, right? And we're
Right.
talking about work-life balance. When you've put all your life and all your energy into something, and then all of a sudden they don't see value in you,
Right.
that is emotionally depressing in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because now you're like, I gotta go find another job. But in finding that other job, are they good? It's like getting out of that bad relationship, right? You break up, and then you're like, okay, so I have to find a new relationship.
And it ends up
And
looking a lot like your old relationship for some reason. It's like, wait a minute.
yes, all the terms look the same.
Like I remember being miserable. I want to, and that goes back. Actually, that really goes back to body chemistry. Your thoughts create a certain chemical soup in you that
Mm,
becomes the norm, and that's why
right.
a lot of people can't get out of that. I need to stop doing this, but when you
Mm,
stop doing that, your body chemistry changes, and your brain goes, "Oh no, that's not our normal." We should be bitching and complaining and and hating everything, and that
yeah.
is the normal. Then you have to see above that. And I finally remembered why I was talking. So when I lost my job, I started thinking, what did I do wrong? And I started reading a lot because I had a lot of time, really.
Yeah.
Robert
Yeah.
Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, everybody. And one thing Kiyosaki said is, we are taught not to fail. You don't fail. You can't get a D. You're awful if you get a D. It's, you need to be an A student. And if you're going to go off on your own, you need to fail. You need to fail, as we say, fail forward. That's the only way you learn. And when your mindset is work your job, don't fail at it. And if you fail at it, you get fired.
You're a failure. Yeah, you get branded as a failure. Yeah.
Right. And as a business owner, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And it doesn't work. And you go, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'm gonna do that. And one of the things that I learned this weekend is everything you try should be a prototype. Don't look at it as like, I'm invested 100% in what I'm going to do. It's a prototype. Like, all right, that didn't work. We talked about Dyson and the other day. Dyson, how many prototypes did he go through to make that fantastic vacuum, which I have, which is very expensive, but it's a damn good vacuum. But how many prototypes? And if you're going to invest in yourself, invest in the knowledge that what you're doing may not work, but you will learn from that. And you take that and you build on the next thing. And you take that when it fails, build. The only way to move forward is to, as we say, is to fail forward. And if you get that kind of mind shift, you can say, okay, I'm going to be an Uber driver. I'm going to do that because that's what I need to do. And then something comes up and you're like, okay, this is not working. What did I learn as an Uber driver that I can take into my next venture?
Yeah. I think, failure is the greatest teacher.
Yeah.
It is the greatest teacher because if you think like Thomas Edison, right, where if you study how other people fail and you failed yourself, right, you're learning what not to do next, right? And eventually, after learning from all those failures, you will come to a conclusion that, wait a minute, I got it.
Yeah.
Bing.
And literally the light bulb goes off.
Right.
We're talking about Edison. It's just like,
yeah, exactly. If you follow that, if you take that mindset of positive thinking, and just say that my failure is not a definition of me, right? Don't attach your failure as, well, this defines who I am, and I'm going to live in it.
Right.
And so it's like you can say to yourself, I will start developing a positive mindset about who I am, right, and what I'm about. And I'm not going to let anybody else define that for me.
Right.
I think we run into an issue when we allow other people to define us. And then when we don't like their definition, we get upset. But it's like you've taken on their definition of you. It's not their fault.
You get upset. I grew up in the Bronx, so my line has always been, if you knew how little I valued your opinion, you wouldn't even bother telling me, because it's your opinion. We don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. So imagine wearing, a pair of sunglasses. Each one of us has a different color sunglasses on. So everything we see is tainted by what we've experienced. Right. So when someone tells me that they're not happy about what I'm doing, I say, thank you very much. I never saw it that way. But if you knew how little I valued your opinion, you wouldn't bother telling me. So I acknowledge that, yes, I did not see it that way, but your opinion really will not move me an inch in any direction. But I thank you for your view, because I don't have those glasses on. So I'm going to take your advice, and put it aside, saying he might be right. She might be right. If it's a she, it's most likely she's right, because I've been married 32 years. So it's like, yes, you're right. By the way, secret to a long marriage, get the last word. And the last word is, you're right, honey. And that's it. It will work.
I mean, no, let's caveat into that. No, we're talking about work-life balance. So, let's talk about like relationships now.
Right.
Like, for instance, relationships are like life. A big part of everybody's life, your relationship with your wife or girlfriend, companion, your dog, your cat, your kids, not in that order.
Cats don't care, by the way. Dogs, yes.
Okay. Yeah, cats are like, forget it.
You're home again? My nap time.
You are my servant. That's it.
Yes, absolutely.
Feed me now. So it's like, how do you, the question is for most parents, because, like my son is grown now, but the question is for most parents is, am I doing this right?
Right.
Because you don't have a manual, and all kids are not the same. So, you read all these parenting books, but you find that some of them really just fit a certain,
Yeah.
they're really kind of basing it on, either a general study or their specific experience with their kids, so I mean, and then when you try to apply it to your kids, it's like your kids look at you like,
I learned a couple of things. One, I was really happy that, not at the time, but when I was 10 years old, my mother had my sister. So that sounds really cool, except she would go to work at 4 o'clock and my father would come home at 7. So from 4 to 7 at 10 years old, my mother say, make sure she's fed, washed, clean, and alive when your father gets home. That was my instruction. So I basically had my first kid at 10 years old. So when my daughter was born, I'm like, I got this. I'm like, what, diapers without pins? Yeah. So
Velcro.
Yeah. It was like, listen, I did a lot of finger sticking as a 10-year-old with a baby diaper that they move, by the way, when you try to do that. So try that with pins. So I raised my daughter like, you can do anything you want. There are no limits. If you're going to ask me to do something, it's got to be something you can't do, not something you won't do. Like, if you can't reach that top shelf thing, fine, I'll get it for you. And it'd be like, I'm going to the kitchen to get some water. Like, Dad, can you get me a glass of water? Sure. And I bring her about that much. Like, where's the rest of it? It's like, oh, that's dad tax. See, I charge you dad tax if you want me to do it. So she hates me to this day, but it's.
So you're either raising a politician or a CEO.
Oh yeah, she won't take crap from anybody, and not from me either. And that's the way I raised her. At one time, she's like, "Why are you mean?" I was like, "I'm not mean. I'm fair, because I'll be dead, and you have to take care of yourself. And if I do everything for you, you're going to be a fish out of water." It's like, this is life. It's not easy if you need everybody to do things for you. So it's important to raise your kids to, like, you can do anything you want. Right. And I'm going to help you do anything you want, but I'm not going to baby you. So you need challenges. We grow with challenges. So challenge your kid to be better. Don't just, here's $20, go buy something. Why? I never saw the reason of just giving things because you don't value it. So my balance for my daughter was all the love, but a little bit of static. So it's not, here's everything and the world will bow before you. No, you have to make your own way. So that, and to this day, she's very, very independent. She, doing a lot of stuff on her own. I don't want to go into details, but it's like, every time it's like, oh, I'm doing this. My wife and I like, yeah, of course. Yeah. Why not? And that's the way, you raise the kid, like, be independent, don't question